If you are an online entrepreneur, and especially if you're a teachers pay teacher seller, then chances are you're looking for some inspiration and ideas and tips from other people who have done business and have done it well. Well, I don't know who's done business better than Walt Disney. Walt Disney might be one of my heroes. I have a great love of Disney movies and Disney World and just the whole everything that goes into it. And I also, along with that, have a slight obsession with reading lots of books about Walt Disney. So in this video, we're going to talk about some of the business advice that I have learned from Walt Disney. Some of these are things like quotes that he has said, and then some of them are things that I have just learned from reading books about Walt or from being in the Disney parks and stuff like that. So we're not doing like Disney movies, we're doing like Walt Disney today. But if you like this video, please let me know by hitting the subscribe button and also commenting down below, because I have a couple other ideas for business tips from all sorts of different inspirations. So I have like a whole video outlined about like business tips from Hamilton, and we could do like business tips from Disney movies or like books or whatever. So let me know down below what you would be interested in. And with that, I was gonna say let's get started, but I just don't think this is right for a Disney video, so please hold. All right, so we got the Spirit jersey, Mickey balloon headband, earrings, aren't they so cute? Little Mary Poppins sign, and as per usual, I've got my Lillian & Co bracelets on. So number one is probably the best one to start with, and that is a Walt Disney quote, and it is, "The way to get started is to quit talking and start doing." In our day and age, it is extra easy to get really caught up in the research phase of doing something. So if you want to start on Teachers Pay Teachers, or if you want to start an Etsy shop, or if you want to start a YouTube channel, it's really easy to spend days and days and days and days and weeks and then months working on the research phase and spending time working on like, hey, how should I do this? What's the best way to do that? But at some point you just gotta start going, and you'll adjust as you learn, but you just gotta go for it. Walt Disney opened Disneyland before it was really even finished. They famously had no water fountains because the plumbers only had time to install either the toilets or the water fountains, and Disney said, well, one of those is more important than the other. They also flooded the Mark Twain on the maiden voyage, and the lady's heels sunk into the pavement because it wasn't hard enough, because it was a little bit too new. Now, I don't suggest you have all of those problems, but as you get started, you're gonna have some problems that maybe you didn't even realize you were going to have. That's okay, that's normal, just go with it. Number two is not something Walt said, but something Walt always did, and that is tell a story. I don't know of many storytellers who are better than the people at Walt Disney Film Studio, motion picture, I don't know, whatever they call themselves. They are master storytellers. Their goal is to tell good stories that keep people engaged and interested and watching all the way till the end. So there's always a lot of heart, and there's a lot of, you know, sequences and just all sorts of things that really help to pull you in and make you interested in what is going on. As business owners, you should also be doing that, telling stories with your products, telling stories with your blogs, telling stories with your videos. All of those things can be storytelling moments. Even on a micro level, just being on Instagram and telling stories on your stories. That's kind of why they're called that. So just anywhere that you can tell a story, do it. If you have a product that's going to change someone's life, tell how it changed your life. Tell how it changed your classroom. Tell stories about the kids. Those are some of my posts that do the very best, when I tell stories about cute things the kids have said and the kids have done, and things that I have learned from the students through teaching, through different activities that we have done. So make sure that you are telling stories whenever possible. If you don't believe me, you can check out this book, which is called Building a Story Brand by Donald Miller, and it's talking all about not only how to tell stories, but how to create your brand in a way that clarifies your message so customers will listen. Oh, look at that. And so it talks all about not just making a story, but actually making your customer the hero of the story and you being just the guide. So if you can get the customer to feel like they are the main character in the story of your brand and you're just kind of helping them along, like, you know, Gandalf or Dumbledore, or, you know, neither of those are Disney people, but like Merlin in Sword of the Stone, or even in more recent Entangled, you have Flynn Rider, who is literally the guide. She says all the time, bring me back my guide, that takes Rapunzel to see the lights, which is like her dream come true. Like all throughout all these things, you know, you have Cinderella and there's the fairy godmother. She is the person guiding Cinderella to where she needs to go, and she makes Cinderella the hero of the story. It's not all about the fairy godmother, it's about Cinderella. So see if you can do that. Tell stories and also make your customers the main characters in your stories. Number 3 is one I love, and that is a Walt quote, and it says, do a good job. You don't have to worry about the money. It will take care of itself. Just do your best work and then try to trump it. So this is really great for a couple of reasons. Number 1, I love that he says don't focus on the money. It's easy to look at Disney now and be like, oh my gosh, they have so much money. But if you actually are like me and are nerdy and you read all of the books, like this one and this one and this one and this one, then you'll know that that was not always the case. Actually, Walt was like barely paying people, barely able to pay himself and feed himself through the early years of his business, and he saw failure after failure and, you know, spent all this money on different films, and then wars hit and like all of these crazy things happened that time and time again they were like without money, and his brother Roy was like, we're going to die. But it all worked out because his focus was not on making money, or also not the lack of money, which I don't suggest, but his focus was always on how can we do the next cool thing? How can we trump last time? And that's one really big thing, if you notice in all Disney movies, is that they always try to make it even better than the last one, because now, you know, your expectation is here. So when I go see a Disney movie, I expect it to be really good, and if it doesn't meet that expectation, then I'm going to be disappointed. The same thing goes for you. If you have lots of products like on Teachers Pay Teachers or on Etsy or whatever, then people expect those to be good, and so your goal is to make the next one even better, even if it's just a little bit. Pat Flynn from Smart Passive Income always talks about being 1% better. He says anytime you turn on the camera, how can you be 1% better than the last video? How can you make this course 1% better than the last course? How can you make this email 1% better than the last email? And just keeping that in mind, that little teeny tiny increment, just trying to trump what you did last time, is going to make a difference, because it's going to create progress, and at some point you're going to be good enough that you're gonna get the notice and attraction, and the money is going to be a byproduct of that. The money in Walt Disney is a byproduct of how awesome they have been and how they've continually trumped themselves over and over again. All right, number 4 is that content is king. This is not a quote, but actually I consider Walt to be one of the original content creators, because when Walt Disney decided to open up Disneyland and then again with Disney World, he didn't just like surprise people with it. What he did is he actually created a show where he talked about the plans for Disneyland. Like literally on the show, he would be on the show and he would talk to the kids who were watching about, you know, all of the different things that were going to happen, and talk about Fantasyland and what was going to be there and all these different things. So people knew what to expect and they were excited to be there. Not only did they know that it was going to be there, but they liked Walt because he was cool and because he had a cool show, and they trusted him because they could see him, they could hear him, and they could see what awesome things he was bringing. That is the whole purpose of content marketing. That's why I preach blogging and YouTubing, and yes, social media is great, but I really preach the blogging and the YouTubing or the podcasting, whatever you want to do, because content marketing is king. If it's good enough for Walt, it's good enough for me. Seriously though, like it's basically like he had a YouTube channel where he was going behind the scenes and showing people what was going on. Like literally, that is what we do here. That is the whole point of all the things we're doing. And he's teaching people about Disneyland. He's telling what's going to happen and all the different things that are going to be in it, and getting them excited and creating hype for Disneyland. And Disney is still doing this. If you have Disney Plus, again, your girl's a nerd, so I like to watch all of the like behind the scenes. They have like how they decorated the castle for Christmas, and they have a whole thing about Pixar and how they came up with all these different characters, and there's a whole thing about Disney World and how it was created. And so they're still doing this today, where they're creating content that kind of brings you behind the scenes, it educates you, it makes you excited. And when I go to Disney World now, I'm like looking for all these things that I have seen in the show, and when I watch a Disney movie, I'm looking for all these things that they've talked about, and I'm looking for those things, and it makes me excited. It makes me feel a part of the brand. So content is king, and bring people behind the scenes whenever you can, whether that's on Instagram stories, whether that's on YouTube, whatever it is, show them the behind the scenes because they want to know. The next one is a quote, and that is, whatever you do, do it well. Do it so well that when people see you do it, they want to come back and see you do it again, and they will want to bring others and show them how well you do what you do. This is like the gold star for your business. No matter what you're doing, whether you are selling things, whether you're on YouTube, on Pinterest, on blogging, whatever it is, you want to do things really well so that people will want to come back. I was listening to, on the TPT conference, someone was talking about reviews, and they said, when do you leave reviews? When something is really horrible, or when something is really exciting and you want everybody to know about it. When I come and tell you about something that I'm excited about, it's because I'm really excited about it and I want you to know about it. So you want to create things that people are excited to share, and people want to share, and people want to bring other people so that they can then experience it too. So how do you actually do that? Well, you look at all of the details. Disney World is known for details, and Disney movies are known for details. They are insane. If you look at Disney World, just one little example, the trash cans all match wherever you are in the park. So trash cans in Frontierland look totally different than other places. We recently went to Toy Story Land, which was so much fun, and the detail was amazing. They did things like on the emergency doors, they wrote, and it made it look like a kid wrote it. Instead of saying cast members, they said toys only beyond this point, and it looked like a kid had written it, and it looked like you were a toy in this land, and it was so cool. And all of those are attention to detail. This even goes back to when Walt was around. They used to have to like paint the colors onto the film, and he actually would make their own paint so that every time it would be the correct color of red, the little Mickey red. He wanted it to be the same color and consistent all throughout. So they made it in-house to make sure that it was correct so that they didn't have to do other ones. He also voiced Mickey Mouse because he wanted to make sure it was correct. In your business, you can do that too. Think of all those little details. So for me, when I'm creating resources for teachers, I think, okay, what can I make to make it even better? My goal is always to make it simple and no prep, or very low prep if they do need to prep anything. So what do they need to do for that? I think about directions. What are directions kids need? I think about things like, what are different ways that teachers can use this? Add those things in there. What is something else? They might want an editable page. They might want different questions. You know, they want all these different things. And if you can pay attention to all those details and put as many as possible in, then people are going to want to come back for more because they loved one product, and so they're going to come back for more. If you can, you know, provide people with valuable content, they'll want to come back. So one of my like superpowers is that I'm really good at showing you the step-by-step and having really practical advice. I know this video isn't the most practical, but it's a lot of fun, so I don't really care. So in my videos, I know if I can give you really practical advice, step-by-step advice, then that's gonna help you want to come back. And every time I work on those details, so I work on it trying to minimize my, you know, chit-chattiness, which is hard because it's fun. And I work on things like adding the, what do you call them? Timestamps to my videos to make them more interesting. And I work on like, how could I make more things more interesting? Even like in this video, the change of clothes at the beginning, that was to make it more interesting, more exciting, so that it was not just the same old. So how can you make things better and continually get better, and then make it so good that people want to share it? That should be your goal. How do I make it good enough that people want to share and they want to come back? The next one is be creative. We preach here on the online world about your niche, and I am a proponent of niches. However, I do want to mention that you don't need to feel stuck stuck in your niche. You should be able to branch out a little bit. Now that doesn't mean that if you normally do like first grade math resources and you do like one random history resource for 12th grade, that would be super weird. But if you normally do first grade math resources, maybe you try a new kind of game. Maybe you try second grade math resources. You know, you can branch out a little bit in that way. And usually when you do this, it pays off so much, just like with Walt Disney. Walt Disney was the first studio to create a feature-length cartoon film. That was unheard of at the time. They were also the first to put their cartoons to sound, and that was a huge deal, that you could play cartoons and sounds that lined up like that. And so he was the first to do that. He was the first to create the first feature-length cartoon, which was Snow White, and it just keeps innovating all throughout. So see how you can be creative and maybe branch out, and it just, you know, you never know what's gonna be the next, I don't know, what's a famous Disney movie? All of them, right? You know, you never know what's gonna be the next Lion King or the next The Little Mermaid or different things like that. Anything that you do, try branching out a little bit. You don't have to go crazy, but maybe try a different kind of product. Maybe try something slightly different that you wouldn't normally do, but that gets you excited too. I actually did this video because I was looking at my content calendar and I was like, I am not excited about this video or any videos that could go in this little spot for this one particular day. So I decided to make this one because I'm excited and it's different and it's new and it might not work, but we're gonna go for it and maybe it'll work and maybe you'll like it. We shall see. And the last one is a nice little quote from Walt, and that is, all our dreams can come true if you just have the courage to pursue them. Being in business online is hard. It's scary, it's hard to start, it's a little bit weird at first, it's weird to talk about. I still don't tell a lot of people that I have my whole business because it's just a little weird to talk about when people don't quite understand. But if you can just have a little courage, step out on faith and start working and doing the good fight, then it will pay off. So just have some courage, have a little bit of courage and take some leaps of faith, whether that's making a video, making a new product, just, you know, incremental work and getting a little closer every day to where you're going is going to help your dreams come true, whatever your dreams are. So stop talking, start doing, and have a little bit of courage and do one thing, whether it's big or small, to step out on faith today. Again, make a video or post something on Instagram or make a new product or just put an hour of work into your day and start doing that every day so that you can actually make progress towards your goals. Hey friends, I hope this video was helpful and a little bit fun. Let me know down below in the comments your favorite of all of those Walt Disney quotes and any other Walt Disney quotes that you might like as well. There were a lot that I loved that I did not include today because I thought these were more important. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any ideas for fun, you know, business tips from random things, let me know in the comments so that we can have more, because, you know, we got musicals, we have Hamilton, we have Disney movies, we could do books, we could do tennis, I don't know, whatever. Let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you later. Bye.